Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And today we have an interesting topic, actually. And a client of mine that I've done multiple live coaching sessions with sent me an email today, and it just sparked. This is obviously something I've talked about on the channel before, and in different ways with different stories. But we're going to get into how to deal with breakup pain. What do you do when a breakup hurts you and hurts you bad? And that sounds like a simple statement, but hurts you bad is actually what a lot of people are feeling. And a lot of people are fighting that. So I'm going to get into that a little deeper today. If you like this video, throw me a like. If you don't like it, don't like it. It's better to have an opinion. And if you want to send your story into writemac.com, WRITE.com, please do. And I could give you my take in a YouTube video just like this, or a live stream. Or if you'd like to book a live coaching session, you can go to writemac.com and book that. We could talk on FaceTime or Skype and fully unpack your breakup, and I can give you some tailored advice to that situation. Okay, so how to deal with breakup pain. This might surprise you. Number one, I believe one of the biggest problems with people when they're dealing with a breakup that is causing them not just pain, but severe pain, mental pain. I call it the mouse wheel in your head that goes on and on and on and on. And you're starting to think, can this please stop? Can I please stop going over the same fucking thing over and over again? The way I'm able to help people out is because I've been there before. I've been in a breakup before years ago where I just felt like, why can't I stop getting these shoulda, coulda, wouldas out of my head? Why can't I get rid of the void or the emptiness in that space you called your heart? And it was awkward because I never had felt that empty or hurt before. And I had other breakups, not a lot of breakups, but I had other relationships. I've had, friends where you're not friends anymore. I've had fights with your parents or, with family members, but nothing compared to that hurt in that moment. And this email that this client sent me today, I could tell she's really, really going through it right now. And the interesting thing is about her situation, a lot of times the reason why your breakup hurts so much is there's other things in your life that aren't going smoothly. There's other parts of your life you're probably not looking at that are contributing to you feeling like this relationship and this breakup is more important to the totality of your life or your life's work or where you're at in life than it really is. And really, I heard Tim Ferriss talking about this yesterday. I think he was being interviewed by Ryan Holiday. Tim Ferriss wrote The 4-Hour Workweek, if you know that book. And he was talking about how he suffers from depression and whatnot. And you're thinking to yourself, wow, the successful author, extremely rich guy. He's got a podcast. He's got all these things. And he's talking about depression. And he was saying that depression, beyond being obsessed with the past and what you did and did not do, which a lot of times is what contributes to depression, is an obsession with yourself of what went wrong or what didn't go right, what's not fair, what is fair. And when you start looking at people that aren't so depressed or quote unquote happy, a lot of times they're big contributors. What do I mean by contributors? They contribute to being a parent. They contribute at their jobs. They contribute in their communities. They contribute to outside places where they can help people. And I think that this is highly, highly underrated when someone's battling breakup pain. And so I'm going to pull up actually in a moment the email that the woman sent me. I don't think she'll have a problem because I'm not going to mention her name or anything like that. I'm going to not give the full details, but I'd like to share my response because I think it's really, really important for a lot of the people out there to understand. First and foremost, how do you deal with breakup pain? This is going to sound funny. Breakup pain? You deal with it. What do I mean by that? Don't try to get around it. It's like if you go to the hospital and you break your arm, there's no immediate painkiller when you first break your arm. Now, once you get to the hospital, I haven't broke my arm before, but I have. Have you seen my finger? I split that in half. That's why I have a little butt finger, if you see it. And I did that as a small child, and screaming and crying and yelling and hurting, and I was really making it worse. And the blood is what scared me. So I was about 4 or 5 years old, I believe it was, and I split this finger in half. And when I did that, really the blood is what scared the hell out of me, because it was all over the place. But I remember eventually waking up in a hospital, and my finger's in a cast, everything's good again, and they probably gave me some kind of medicine to put me out. And breakups don't work that way. You could go and drink, or you could do drugs, which I highly don't recommend. You have to deal with the pain. You have to neutralize some of the things. And here's one of the things that's going to surprise you. You got to be your own coach. You got to have extremely good self-talk to redirect that voice in your head that's negative, hurtful, and spewing things that other people have said that you don't necessarily agree with. Rajan Rai, how you doing? You really need to get in there and redirect that little monster, that little breakup monster, that little mouse on the wheel, and go fucking stop for a moment. What's up, Mary? Because the breakup pain, if it's a serious breakup and you've been together a long time, if someone's not really hurting, they're not really dealing with it yet. They're not healing. And so the other parts of your life are very important. So let me share this email I got earlier today that kind of sparked me talking about this. And I was going to wait for a few more people to come on, but David, how you doing, bud? I hope you're well. I'll wait a moment more. But let me ask you, Rajan, Mary, David, what would you say is a quick tip that you'd give someone how to deal with breakup pain? What do you do when a breakup hurts you and hurts you bad? If you guys have a quick tip or two, please put it in the comments. Any little nugget helps when you're hurting, right? So let me get to this email I got. And now what's really interesting, I don't know if people, when you are really hurting from a breakup, it's usually layers of other shit in your life that you pile into one big pile. And you start to feel like when it rains, it pours. You suddenly lost your job. You got the flu. See ways you can improve your life. Sure. One thing that's overlooked is to separate the problems that are happening. Okay, you broke up, you're unhappy. Okay, your job's a problem. Don't put those two together. My job is something that I can work on separately. My illness is something I can work on separately. So keep them all separate, or you're going to overwhelm yourself. Okay. Pick the battles that you know that you can combat. So recently my girlfriend cheated on me. I'm sorry to hear that. Let me read this. This individual says, I wanted to check in with you. It's been a few weeks. I am a complete mess. I woke up this morning before the sun came up. I cried uncontrollably. Tears, snot, sobbing so hard I couldn't breathe. Have you guys dealt with something like this before? This is tough. I was emotionally exhausted. I fell back asleep and then I woke up. I felt like I had been hit by a truck. All day I've been dragging ass. I feel like the world around me is moving so fast and I am in slow motion. I have no appetite. I have no desire to do anything right now. I had another breakdown this afternoon and laid on my bed and sobbed again. I can honestly say I've never been hurt so badly by another person. I don't get the emotional when my marriage ended. I don't understand all this. Now, it continues on. I don't plan on reaching out to him. I don't even know what I would say. If someone loved me, he wouldn't leave me to suffer like this, but I'm not reaching out to him either. And I know that I love him. So figure that one out. I've put in an emergency call to a healthcare provider to meet a new therapist. I know that I explained to you that the other psychologists I was seeing didn't seem like to be helping me at all. They have referred me to an outside agency. Also this week, I will have to get a COVID test because my youngest son was diagnosed as positive and I've been in contact with him. So she goes on to say, of course, I'm at work until I have a negative test or I've been quarantined for 2 weeks. Total isolation is not what I need right now. So this is how I responded. And more than the email, I want to show you how I responded to this. First and foremost, I wrote, okay, take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. You'll get through this. Keep showing up every day. Don't give up on the parts of your life. You have other response. Don't give up on other parts of your life. Why do I say this? Because what we cease to realize, myself included, is we are different characters in different places in our life. I'm a son. I'm a teacher. I'm a coach. I'm an uncle. These are all different roles in our life that we serve other people. We help other people. They rely on us. We're responsible in these situations. And you should be proud and privileged of some of these roles, myself included. And we need to take a step back when everything's going wrong for us and say, hey, I still got some duties. I still have some things. I still have some things to offer this world. You have other responsibilities and people that love you. What's happening with this guy hurts. It fucking really hurts. I go on to write, crying is okay. It's actually good for you. Don't fight it. If this man doesn't contact you, it's okay. You still got your sons, your mother, your job, and what you have to offer this world. You're a good person. The world needs that beyond all else. Seek out this new therapist. Get a COVID test and live your life. If the therapist doesn't help, get another one. If the COVID test comes back positive, then you did the right thing and you'll have to stay home for 2 weeks. It won't be the end of the world. You'll deal with it. You'll complain a bit. You'll be upset at times, but you're not going to fucking give up on the rest of your responsibilities. You'll get through it. You're tough and you've been through tough times before. This will be another chapter in your autobiography. This is where the story gets good, where you find a turning point for the better, because you know, and I know, nothing lasts forever. That includes the feeling of rejection. That includes crying. That includes even good times. Our life is a constant work in progress. Right now, it just feels like too much work, but keep seeking and working towards solutions and you'll get there. And above all, keep being you. I appreciate you. Your sons love you. Your mom loves you. Your colleagues count on you. The situation with this breakup doesn't deter from all the good you bring to those around you. Keep on moving and keep showing up every day. Now, these, it's not sad. It's part of life, huh? These situations are what make us. And you have to realize that this is where you build character, right? This is like when I said that, like, this is where the story gets good. This is where you make a change. Someone else, I was just writing a response. I had a coaching client 2 days ago, and in relation to, she's going through a breakup like most of you, and hurting and whatnot. And she's stuck on one of those things. The COVID happened. She was in a long distance relationship that was actually very healthy in the sense they saw each other once every 3 weeks, and it was a short and cheap plane ride for them. And suddenly, COVID happens. She has the opportunity to move to this guy's country, which is a country she loved and would have welcomed to move to, but she put it off because she thought to herself, you know what? Actually, I'm not going to do that right now, but in a month I'll see you or something like that. So 3 months go by and she's not able to travel there. The relationship takes a twist for the worse because they don't get to see each other, right? So she looks back and she goes, I should have moved. I should have moved there. I should have moved there. Here's the crazy part, folks. This is the part that's so fucking crazy about life if you keep showing up. What do I mean by showing up? Just don't fucking give up on yourself. Okay? You're going to have good days and bad days, the biggest cliche in the world, because it's fucking true, right? So I know when you're in a breakup, it seems like there's just a string of 2 months of bad days, but keep showing up. Go to your job. Go to your doctor's appointment. The main thing is, in that moment, you're looking for solutions. If you come to my channel or you've done breakup coaching with myself, you're looking for solutions, right? It's one of those things where that's the part you need to keep at, right? And what I told this lady, and I'll show you how I wrote it, and this is something that comes up a lot. And by the way, if you do a coaching session with me, this is a follow-up that I do with people I don't talk about on the website, but I do give you some really good notes about our chat. I wrote, even if you could turn back time and had moved to, I won't say the country, when it was an option, who knows what would have happened next? It wouldn't have guaranteed that you stayed together. Sometimes we think if we did one thing different, all would be well now. It's not true. How many times did a bad decision or a bad moment in your life lead to something good? I want everyone to think about that for a moment. Put it in the comments below and really fucking think about that. If you've had enough of life experience or you lived your life for long enough, how many times did a bad decision or a bad moment in your life lead to something good? We assume that if we made a different decision in our past, that it would have led to some golden yellow brick road of eternal happiness. It just doesn't work that way. There's going to be constant forks. There's going to be constant barriers if you're living life. I mean, the alternative is to just live a very safe and solitary and mediocre life. If you're living life, you're going to have some bad moments with some bad decisions. Bad decisions, I wrote on, are life's greatest lessons if you learn from them. Again, is that a cliche? Yeah, but it's true. Bad moments are where we build character and further appreciate when times are good. Seneca, the great philosopher, talks about this with Stoicism. You could say it was Marcus Aurelius. I just say that, think about that. Without the sour, you can't taste the sweet. I mean, bad moments are what make you realize when you have good moments. Bad moments are what make you realize that you can overcome shit. Bad moments that you overcome create confidence, right? So I wrote on, my breakup 10 years ago felt like the worst moment in my life. Dramatic as hell to say that at this point. Then it led to me moving to Thailand, living near a tropical beach, and eventually being a fucking breakup coach. So looking back, bad breakup, bad moment, fuck yeah. I mean, that motherfucker lingered for a year, 8 or 9 months. Did it lead to something good? Even if it's 10 years later, 9 years later? Yeah. Because I learned from it, because I didn't sit on my ass and go, oh, feel sorry for me, everyone, right? You can have those days. You can have a bad day. You can feel sorry for yourself. But at some point, get up off the mat. Be thankful for what you have. Realize that any relationship that you're in or you have, at any given moment, you have a choice to be in it or not be in it. And you have a choice to continue on or not continue on. What you don't have a choice of is how they treat you. What you don't have a choice of is that hurt that slams you. Now, when you're hurt by the breakup, what you do have a choice of is how you interpret it. Because I don't think that you can just somehow just shield away fucking hurt from a breakup or someone not calling you. You can just, throw a fucking cape over your head and be fine. I don't believe that shit. I do believe you can deal with it, and self-talk's a big one. Redirecting yourself. Go to people that you respect, admire, and appreciate for advice and support. This is very important. If you go to people that have bad lives, bad outlooks, or people you just flat out don't admire. I was just thinking about this recently. There's some friends you just have because of proximity. Does that make sense? They just grew up in the same neighborhood, or they live down the street, or you met them through a friend and whatnot. And you became friends because you have a couple things in common, like a sports team, or you have you like the same food, or your girlfriends are friends. I don't know. So you kind of become friends with a person, but then over a period of time, you look at this individual and you just go, yeah, there's nothing admirable about this person's character. They don't really make me feel better about themselves. And I'm constantly analyzing how shitty their life is. So what am I fucking doing here? Right? When you're in a downtime, go through your Rolodex, friends, family members, therapists, if you have one, if that's the case, and seek them out. Seek them out. Tell them what's going on. Look for solutions. And listen to them if they have some advice, if they have some suggestions, especially if they've been through the same problem before. And so if I'm going to give you a short recap of this question, how to deal with breakup pain, deal with it. Don't run from it. Don't try to take shortcuts on it. Neutralize it. Reframe it in a situation. And I would come back to this one a lot. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to get through this because I get through other shit, and I've been through a lot of shit. This isn't going to hold me back or hold me down. I got a lot of people around me that love and care about me. I'm not going to give up on myself. This isn't going to be the end of my fucking responsibilities in my life. I'm going to move forward and move on. That doesn't mean that the hurt's not going to come back or you're not going to have a negative moment. Every time that comes back, that's your trigger. I'm going to be okay. I remember I started a job when I was about 19 or 20. I've talked about this before. I was selling shoes, women's shoes at a major department store. And the job was a little overwhelming at first. And someone says, oh, that's an easy job. There's like 300 different kinds of shoes at this store. There's 3 flights of fucking stairs in the back. So when someone goes, oh, can you get me a size 7 and this one, that one, and this one? So you got 3 pairs of shoes. You have 2 flights of stairs up, 2 flights of stairs down, and 1 flight of stairs up. And I was wearing a fucking suit. Okay. The job in the beginning, I think I was on 10% commission. So it was lucrative. When I was 19, this is 20 years ago, it was pretty good money for selling shoes. It was expensive stuff, right? But I remember I had a moment, and then the lady's like, yeah, and then for 2 hours, you got to go in the stock room and rearrange fucking shoe boxes so the sizes are all lined up in the colors. Now, this is the kind of tedious work I fucking hate. I liked sales. I liked talking to people. I liked running up and down the stairs didn't bother me, even though it was in a suit and you sweated your ass off. Going in the back for an hour and putting boxes up by sizes and whatnot. I remember I had a moment. I was like, you've had worse jobs. I remember just talking to myself for a moment. I was like, you've had worse jobs. You're going to get through this. You're going to be good at this job. You're going to be fine. My fucking sweating from my brow. Sweat. I had a ring around the collar. Remember the ALL commercial? All. And I remember like sweating so much in my suit when I first started this job. Within, I think about 3 or 4 months, I think I was a top sales per hour at that job. Now the job suited me, but in that moment, I was just feeling weak, overworked, uncomfortable because I just wasn't used to it. Now let's apply that to when you hurt from a breakup. This is why you need to go to 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, no contact. You need to learn what it's like to be alone. You need to learn what it's like to not have that person to call. Until you do that, you're not going to move forward. But that biggest obstacle is the voice in your head that you actually have more control over than you think. And when you're sitting around and you're ruminating and you're chewing on the same concept, get your ass out of the house, go for a walk, go for a run, take a cold shower, do a Wim Hof breathing technique, take an ice bath, change your physiology. What do you mean? Do not sit on the couch. Do not smoke 18 cigarettes. Get out and get active immediately. If you can't do that because of some ailment or some reason, then do it in your room. Do push-ups, do something. That's your quickest way to combat mental pain. Okay. What do you do when you break up hurts and hurts you bad? I hope that helped you. Let me know if there's anything in the comments down below that you can add. Let me get to the live stream. It's been a little while. See what you did wrong. Sir, recently girlfriend cheated on me. Sorry to hear that, Ray John. Going through a breakup again. Worst pain I ever felt. The relationship was only 3.5 months. Well, I'll tell you what, the good news is when it's 3.5 months, it could be a bad pain. It could be a horrible pain, but you know you can get through it because you've gotten through it before, and it usually takes a shorter amount of time. But Brian, if you want to send your full story in to writemac.com, you know I got you, bud. You've been to my channel. I need to know the story, and I'll give you my take. I'm not going to cure you, but I could certainly help you put it in a new frame. I try to forget it by going out and go on dates, on bad dates. Good for you. Coach, after 10 days of no contact, my ex messaged me, Ruthie, I am not surprised, hun. You're a catch. Due to this, I started thinking incomplete. I'm not complete. I want my confidence back. Okay, so one of the things that I talk about where confidence comes from for a lot of people, what are you good at, Ray John? You need to be good at a few things in your adult life, right? I don't care what it is, right? I don't care what it is. You need to feel good at doing a few things really well. If you think about it, Michael Jordan is this epic icon of the world. He only plays basketball well. I don't think he plays golf particularly well from what I've read. I don't think he's particularly good gambler. I don't even know if he's that good a public speaker, but he's the fucking best basketball player ever. Now, does that give him confidence in other parts of his life? Yes. So what are you really fucking good at? Double down on that. Damn, that's so sad, Mac. It's life. Sometimes breakup is a blessing. Take it as a lesson and will help you to be a better for the next relationship. And you know what, Ruthie, you're proof of that because, we've had a couple coaching sessions and you came back from, I don't know, a year or 2 years ago from a breakup that was, that you did some wrong things on. And then your most recent situation was completely different. And I was thinking to myself, wow, you handled that really well. You handled that really well. Oh, but wow, you trusted this individual. And I was thinking to myself, you made some adjustments. It didn't work out for you, but you could hold your head up high that you improved. Roberto Feebles, how you doing? Rob, always a pleasure. Best thing you can do is feel the breakup. Jen, how you doing, hun? Yamel, hello all. The worst part is she's already in a new relationship. We broke up 2 weeks ago, still had some limiters, contact telling me she missed us, sending me pictures of us, so manipulating. Brian, I'm really sorry to hear that. Keep out of contact and do not have any access to that social media or those pictures. Get your ass back in the gym, go to work, and start from scratch again. And it sucks. It hurts. I don't have an immediate solution for that. But I'll tell you what, I know you're going to get through it. I know you're not going to be a victim for the rest of your life, right? I know you're not going to be on the mat for too long because you just recently overcame another one that was a seriously toxic relationship, if I remember correctly. You're so encouraging, Mac, and your words are nice when people need it. You're meant to be a breakup coach. Well, thank you, Mary. I appreciate you, hon. Chanchito Querido. Well, hello, people. Chanchito. What nationality is that name? I'm just curious. I'm great up for those bad decisions most days. I'm great up for those. I wouldn't be who I am today. Isn't it so true? Isn't it so true, though, that these bad moments, bad decisions, bad days, you look back and they're some of your greatest lessons or turning points in your life. Do you ever think about that? I mean, I've talked about this before. People that are born rich or extremely good looking, a lot of times they're not people of very much substance, or they don't attract a lot of popularity of people around them. You know what people like? Rough edges. They like good real human stories. They like when you can make fun of yourself a little bit, not being self-deprecating, but you're lighthearted. You've been through a few things. Things don't scare you because you've been through a few things. Grateful. That's good, Yamel. LDR breakup. LDRs have a shelf life. Chanchito. I told her I felt like I did, but she didn't appreciate it. But she wanted me to plan dates and cook her dinner. I just didn't get around to it. Well, if that wasn't in your arsenal and that wasn't the kind of boyfriend you wanted to be, then it was never going to last, right? She just didn't care to allow me to do it. What's up, TW? I know the pain with that, Mac. I don't know which part you're talking about, David, because I've been talking so much. We got 23 on deck. Right on. Thanks for the likes, folks. I appreciate it. If you don't like it, put in a not like. I would appreciate that too. LDR breakup, any advice? I need to know your story, Chanchito. So send it into rightmac.com. Send it in to rightmac.com. If I get your story, then I'll give you my full take. Just quick, long distance relationship breakup advice. Here it is. If the problem was the distance, is that going to be fixed? Was there a finish line where you were going to move into each other's city or place? I felt like that once, but now I don't want to be with someone that don't want to be with me, kind of like shit. I used to care, but now I don't give a fuck. LOL. Chanchito, no contact? I need to know your situation. Being idle after a breakup is the worst thing you could do for yourself. Plus, if you get out and enjoy yourself, your ex will see it and it will cause jealousy. That's true. Did someone say double D? What's up, Derek D? How you doing, buddy? Distant. She said she want to be with me physically. Well, here's the thing about long distance. Cavemen, humans didn't evolve to be in long distance relationships. It's a sacrifice for both sides, and it has a shelf life. It has an expiration date. Only you don't know when it is. And eventually you leave the susceptibility of someone meeting someone else or just getting tired of the lack of human touch. How's everyone been? Judy Jack, I hope you're well. I went through the worst breakup about a year and a half ago. The best way to cope is to learn a new skill and exercise. Exercise is underrated. I feel like I say it all the time and people underrate it. And keep in mind, exercise does not need to be going to the gym, working out like a demon. You could go for a walk every day. Rob, I was trying to tell you, I agreed with your statement. Beta male covert. Okay, thanks, influencer. Thanks. Influencer? I don't know what that means, Ray John. Shoe store. Oh, okay. Did you work at a shoe store too? Hi, Judy. Where have you been? Hi, Mary. I know some people who comes from money but are cool as fuck, so not. Good point, Mary. Good point. Hi, Mac, and everybody from Crystal, 51 from Las Vegas. Roller Girl, were you on Inspiration Nation's live stream? I almost said, is that Roller Girl for mine? Snobs. Yeah, not all. When I say that, I'm not saying all rich people. I've just noticed that there are people that are born extremely privileged, and this is, like I said, and because of their lack of life experience or obstacles in life, the things that they get upset about or complain about are extremely petty. And then when something really bad does happen that they don't have control over, such as a breakup, they go fucking absolutely nuts because the world's supposed to, be at their beck and call. And that's when they actually grow a little bit. Mentally all day, another bus comes every 15 minutes. Good one. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I was randomly, Inspiration Nation's one of those channels I've watched before. I'm not necessarily, a diehard fan or anything like that, but it was on and I just hopped in. And I was like, is that the Roller Girl that comes on mine? He's kind of a quirky dude, isn't he? The guy. He's got a pretty wife. Chanchito, girl, will do. Sir, please make a detailed video on eye contact. On eye contact? What do you want to know about eye contact? I think you are the one that was more emotionally invested in the relationship. No contact is the best. It's more hurtful to keep tabs on trying to be friends. That's like throwing salt on deep cuts. Don't want salt on deep cuts. That's for damn sure. So, Mac, will I keep continuing to go through this? If I'm not that type of boyfriend, it really upsets me she left me. But it hurts more saying that she loves me, but he's the type of man she needs. I don't know, Brian. Send me your story, dude, and I'll give you my full take. You know how I operate. I can't really give you good advice without knowing your story, bro. I know some women who try to monkey branching the pain away, but that never ends out well. You can flirt with your eyes. Well, they say that someone that stares at you either wants to do you or hurt you. Is that true? Then there's people that just have psycho eyes, right? And that would be they want to kill you. Heads up, King, stay on your purpose. I mean, can't you tell what good eye contact is and what not good eye contact is? Because the funny thing is, I've said this before, the genuine smile is actually in the eyes, right? Because you could smile like this. But a smile is in the eyes. And there's actually, I don't know what you'd call it, eye smiling. But when people have this, they give you a look and the eye almost glistens at you, that's when someone's interested in you. Yeah, more than 5-second eye killers. Isn't it so funny when you see a murderer or something on the stand and they have those psycho eyes and you think to yourself, did anyone else think this guy was a fucking psycho? Small big world. Yes, same here about Inspiration Nation. I drop in if I'm interested. Small big world. They seem new to the live stream situation, though. It's kind of funny because there's some people with some really big channels that don't do live streams or seem to be comfortable doing them. I absolutely enjoy them. I don't know if it's good for the channel or not, but Mary says, ha, ha, ha. I got to go pretty soon in about 10 minutes. We got 23 on deck. This is pretty good. I'm going to share a story that came in. Here it is. Let me timestamp this. 37 minutes. Okay. Hi, Coach Mac. I won't say your name, 22 years old. My story goes like this. I started off working last year in the end of November. I was going through a lot of sadness, a family issue. So that family issue and that sadness, let's put that in a separate bin, in a separate problem-solving area than your relationship. They don't want to be stacked. They want to be separated. I started off working with absolutely nothing. Money and I looked horrible. I started off working with absolute nothing. She's in parentheses, she says money and I looked horrible. So we got a family issue, no money, and you looked horrible. This is not the time to start a relationship. This is something that, when you're in your young 20s, you're struggling, but you're getting a job, so you're doing something about it. Your family, you can't really control, but the good thing is as you get older, you have less attachments to them because you don't need them to shower you or buy you things because you have the ability to go out and work. The fact that you looked horrible is probably a deep-seated belief in yourself, and you need to work on that. And let's face it, anytime you don't like the way you look, you can work on that. Exercise, haircut, style, whatever. To satisfy myself, I started hooking up with a guy at work. Okay. In a short period of time, I left him for another guy at the same workplace. Okay. If you weren't official, I guess you could do that. With the other guy, we started off as a good friends. Late December last year, an incident occurred when I was dropped home around 1 a.m. To cut the story short, I couldn't get into the house. I couldn't get into the house. Has a neighbor dog was left open that night, and he bite if he doesn't know you. So for safety reasons, the guy offered me to sleep by his place. Well, isn't that a very kind gesture? You couldn't get in your house. You're scared of a neighbor's dog. So your coworker guy offered you a place to sleep at. Well. Okay. I accepted, but I was horrified with what if. Okay. If you're horrified, you still had a choice to make there. On my mind, but I had no choice. No, you did have a choice. You could have got a hotel. You could have went to a friend or family member's house. To cut a story short, I couldn't get into the house. Has a neighbor dog was left open that night. See, this is where you need to reread your story to make it a little clearer. On my mind, but I had no choice. You did have a choice. You do have a choice in the situation. We drove to his place. He was so sweet. I was on my period. Nothing happened. Well, thanks for letting us have that detail. He kissed me and touched my body and cleaned after. Okay, I messed around and so forth. The night was short. I prayed it last longer, but the journey of our love began late December last year. I'm not quite sure if he loved me till today the way I loved him. We made love every time we met. Good for you. Wow, a lot of people don't use the term making love. And per week, we met every day and saw each other every day as we worked together. We talked a lot over the phone. The problem is I call him more than he does. That's not a problem. That's just the way the relationship is. Not everyone's going to call the same exact times. Not everyone's going to love each other the same amount. And remember this, remember it good. Love is defined by the individual, not by Webster's dictionary. I talk more than he does. He doesn't request to see me, but I always make myself available for him. So you feel like you're doing more, you care more. And bottom line is you do, but you do have a choice. And a lot of relationships have the other side care a little bit less than the other. It's never completely 100%. If you're not happy with it, break up. I believe I showed him more love than he did. My colleague at work testifies that. Okay, your colleague's not in the relationship. So the idea that they came to your side on this doesn't change the situation. While not to make him look bad, he has his good side where he can defend before his colleagues. He makes sure I'm okay with a little he has, but financially he has nothing to offer. Expect paying an Uber to get me back home. Well, I never bothered because I love him just the way he is. Okay, so you're conflicted. Like 1 minute he doesn't really make that much money, but it's okay. My colleague doesn't even think he loves me as much as me, but it's okay. Figure out what you want to accept, and don't negotiate this in your head like you're doing someone a big fucking favor by being with them. All I wanted was to feel loved by him and gained his attention. I confronted him several times, telling him I wanted from him. He told me he's a quiet guy and that's how he is. Yet afterwards, I saw some changement in him. A while later, he would change again. The major problem is we broke once already, like 3 months after dating, and I missed him and decided to ask for his forgiveness. And every time we have a problem, he doesn't seek me to resolve it. I'm always the one to run to his knees. Interesting words. I'm tired of begging for his attention I deserve. I'm tired of always being the one to run to him to resolve issues. I think he needs to be a man and man up in this relationship. Okay. Are you in a relationship or are you friends with benefits? I'm confused. I spoke to him straight, hitting the buttons hard, and asked him if he wanted to still around, and he said yes. But I was still not convinced. Okay, obviously, you want way more than he wants. So you think he's wrong for not wanting what you want, but you're just not being clear on the fact that you're way more interested in a deeper relationship, and your expectations are much higher than he has in the relationships. I saw the conversation I was getting bad. He rescheduled it for another day. I could wait to hear you answer. We are now 5 months in this relationship, yet the man he's struggling to change to make me happy too. It's not his responsibility to make you happy. It's your responsibility to make you happy. While I asked him if we still in the relationship or we breaking up, he told me to decide. That's an interesting comeback. I told him he is the man, he should decide. So 1 minute you're saying he does this wrong, but he should decide about the relationship. I mean, be really crystal clear on what it is you want. And he decided to break up. I was devastated. I couldn't take it. The breakup happened on text message. He told me we could be friends, but I refused. This breakup happened the beginning of the pandemic. I told him I loved him a lot and I would like to get same time off from him. And I told him that I am blocking him. I also told him that he shouldn't greet me. Okay, so you're putting all these breakup rules in place. Just know that this isn't going to bode well for him when he's thinking about getting back with you. So if you want to get back together and you have all these rules in place, it's not going to, I will not do so to whenever I see him. He replied saying, I respect your decision. That's a solid reply. The next day I couldn't bear it if I asked to see his face to face, but he refused. You already declared to him that you didn't want to see him ever again. And then the next day you say, let's see each other face to face. Since then, I blocked him, promise we never spoke again. This is extremely dramatic. And again, this is just going to push him farther away. We haven't seen each other for 2 months and a few weeks. Just several days ago, we had a meeting at work. I decided to look really good. You decided to look really good? Okay. I looked as if I had moved on, not hurt forgotten him, serious, sexy and top it. I passed him several times as he didn't exist. So he did all this on purpose. That says something. But inside, I still love him and wish him to be back. So you feel like if you do these things, you'll get him back. But he didn't play along. He was just quiet and observing. And sure, he was shocked to see how good I looked. At the end of the meeting, he greeted me before leaving. I greeted back. I still love him, coach. Will he come back? I would suggest you do a live coaching session on this one because we need to unpack a few more things about your confidence and about how you're treating this situation. I shared a lot of my life problem with him. I fought my family for our love. It's almost 3 months. He hasn't reached out, or what can I do? Please help, coach. And this guy's 33. So you're 22. Question is, do you think this guy even wants to come back at this point? I find a smile more inviting. Is it true women do the eye test where they hold eye contact with you to see if you break it or not? Derek, do any of these kind of ideas that women do? I'm sure there's a group of women that do that. But there's also a group of women that would be too shy to hold eye contact. So I don't think there's a rule to that, but I know what you're asking. It's the opposite. If the girl looks away, then looks back, she's interested. Says Lala. Okay, cool. I think definitely if you see someone look down and then look back, or you catch them looking at you and then looking away, that there is some interest there. I think at some point in your life, you can kind of feel, not just from the eyes, but energy wise, as a human being, unless you're extremely negative about who you are and where you're at in life, you can feel when someone likes you or they're interested. That's the beta male convert ops move Rob was talking about earlier. Those betas are out there in huge numbers. It sounds to me like they had sex and she caught feelings. Maybe she was using sex. Well, I mean, it's the story's a bit confusing. That's why I said maybe we could do a live coaching session. But it's just one of those classic cases where she wants a lot more than he wants, and she's blaming him for not having as extreme feelings as she does, and then she's pressuring him. And then at the same time, well, he doesn't have money, but that's okay. My coworker doesn't like him, but that's okay. It's like, the highest level of love is unconditional love. If you can get anywhere close to that in a relationship, that's outstanding. This is nowhere close. This is like, well, he does this wrong and this wrong, but I do love him. He does this, this, and this wrong, but I do like him. I don't like, I'm this, and this, but I'm working on it, Go ahead and shoot me an email anytime, Alex. I'm not promising that I'll respond right away. I have to do something today. But I will respond eventually. Oh my God, 3 months, it's over. He's probably been with a few girls already. Possibly. What really helped me was to research why I felt the way I did after a breakup. I'm not belittling the pain, but our bodies are flooded with stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline. Understanding helps. Little bird, that is a wise answer from a little bird. I'll make it easy for the guy to come back to me if I'm interested, but I'll try the eye contact thing and let you know. When girls are really nice to me, I start to think maybe they're interested in me, but most people say that their personality and to not think too much about it. Absolutely. There's women out there that are more flirtatious, kind, outgoing, and you can convey that as being interested. Absolutely. Absolutely you can. But if you're wrong, what did you lose? Right? So the idea that you want certainty to ask someone out is where you went wrong. The idea that you're like, oh, I think she's interested in me, or she's being really nice to me, and the next step would be like, let's hang out, let's go out, let's spend some time together. And then if you realize soon after that she's not, then it's fine. He's demonstrated through his actions his intent on what he wants. By continuing, she is giving him all the power. I'm attracted to that. There's men like that too. Absolutely. Any closing questions? I do have to go. Alex, you can send me a message. Anyone that wants to do a live coaching session, go to rightmac.com. Take a chance and ask her out. Mary's right. Yeah, don't get caught up in trying to figure out if someone likes you too much. I think it's pretty apparent when someone has no interest. So if someone has no interest, one of the big ones to me is if you start up a conversation and they don't have any questions about who you are and what you do. Like they have no, oh, where are you from? Or like, what job do you do? If they start conversating and they start saying things or asking questions, or they give you a light compliment, then there's a match spark there. There's something there. It doesn't necessarily mean they're all in. But when someone's just very cold, neutral, non-interested, they could be just having a bad day. I would ask, here, coach, but I'll rather just email for confidentiality. That's fine. Just email me. I'm just saying I'm not going to respond right away, probably. She might not be interested yet, but you never know. But there are definitely personality types out there that most people would think, wow, this woman's really into me. She's really friendly. Same for men, really. But that doesn't necessarily mean like people gain attraction over time from familiarity and qualities and values that they're looking into someone for a long-term partner. Instant attraction is most often physical. All right, folks, it's been a pleasure. We had a good run today. I came on a little bit later, but I thought I'd just get the time in. And I'll be back on tomorrow. Otherwise, it's going to be curtains. If you want to send your story into writemac.com, go ahead and send it in. I'll maybe discuss it on the live stream tomorrow. Later.